we go, as usual. Drop down. What that usually means, see how the drop is a giant drop. What that happens is that people see something's gone wrong, or it spins, and then because that happens, people drop off. Just gotta love that Facebook technology. All right, anyway, we're gonna talk, as always, 4 topics today. Politics. We're gonna actually do a sort of double. Actually, we're gonna do 5 topics today. We're gonna talk about Obama and his latest attempt at being a lame duck president, trying to make President Trump have a harder time at getting some of his plan out. We'll talk about that. We're talking about ISIS in Latin America and how dangerous that is. Also going to talk about, in the opinion section, we're going to talk about the NYPD, as far as I'm concerned, caving to religious demands. Then in the wow section, we will talk about Charlie Sheen calling for the death of Donald Trump. And then in the story section, I'm going to pick off where we left yesterday, because boy, did our conversation about transgenders really spark a field day of emails into my account. 95% of you say DML, I agree with you 100%. 5% of you said that you want to kick me in the groin. We're going to focus in on the 5%. So, without further ado, we're at 3,000 people. I'm sure the number will climb a little bit as we start going. Let's get into it. As always, got the cheat sheet, ready to rock and roll. Now you will see, before I start really diving in, that I got my sweatshirt a little higher. I was dressing myself, and there you go. See what I'm talking about? Put my shirt on backwards. All right. So, let's see what we got. Politics. Obama. National monuments. Okay. So President Barack Hussein Obama takes out the old pen and creates 2 national monuments. One in Utah and one in Nevada. Yep. The one in Utah spans 1.3 million acres. Yes, 1.3 million acres. It's called how's it called? The Bears Ears National Monument in Utah. All right, this sparks complete outrage. The Attorney General of Utah says, sue, gonna sue Obama in the White House. Yeah, they don't want this thing. Senator Lee out of Utah says it's pretty much despicable and disgraceful for this lame duck president to do such a thing. Now, in Nevada, he takes 300,000 acres and marks that as a national monument. Okay. Is there anything for you to go there and see at these monuments? Nada. All right. So why does he do it? DML, why is he doing this? Okay. Well, here's the funky thing. With this executive order, and it's through some, Antiques Act or something or another, a president can basically mark territory or place as a monument. But it does not state that through an executive order, one can remove or change it. So therefore, Obama, in his little tricky ways, has now locked up 1.6 million acres in 2 different states as monuments. These 2 states and the 2 places where this stuff is going on was basically there have been programs that have started, or at least negotiations for these programs have started, to expand U.S. energy projects. Yeah. So one of the biggest things, we haven't talked about this on the Walk and Talk for, the 2+ months that I've been doing this, because everything has been so election based and what will the 100 days look like and blah, blah, blah. We're going to talk a lot about energy once we get past all of the how do we kick Donald Trump in the groin before he's the president talk stops. But we're going to talk a lot about energy, because this is a little bit of a side note. You know, as you know, and I tell you all the time, I've been in business for 30 years, and thankful to the fact that I've always been pretty successful. And one thing that I've learned in business is that things are cyclical. You know, a lot of times you'll see presidents take heat, or in other cases take credit for different business cycles. Well, a lot of it's cyclical. It goes around and goes around, right? In Obama's case, it's a little different because he's done so much to hamper businesses. But anyway, a lot of things are cyclical, and there's always something to spark the economy. Years ago, it was housing, then it became a bubble. Before that, it was the internet, and then it became a bubble. But those two industries are not going to go away, right? And housing has come back a bit. Internet still remains one of the greatest growth places. Well, one of the places that I think, and I bet you Trump is thinking, that is going to offer some of the greatest growth here in the country, that could really spark the next amazing lift for jobs and economy or what have you, is energy. And so what Obama has done in marking these off as monuments, and if the AGs for Nevada and for Utah are unsuccessful, it's harder for Donald Trump to actually try to spark a fire, a good fire, if you will, in the energy sector in these areas. And it's typical Obama. Harry Reid, this is when you know that it's a bad deal. Harry Reid is supporting what it is that Obama has done with these monuments, saying that he is overjoyed and that Obama will go down as perhaps the greatest president for environmental friendliness. Okay, all right. So in other words, Trump, you know, because Trump has already vowed that he is going to pull back a lot of the regulations and restrictions that are placed, you know, all tying to EPA stuff and all tying to all these different global warming experts, you know, who say, oh, the environment is going to crap and all this other different stuff, and don't want drilling and don't want gas exploration. I mean, one of the other things that, you know, you might not even know this because we were so busy with Christmas and Hanukkah. Last week, President Obama marked off 2 areas of the I think it's definitely the Atlantic Ocean, and I think it was actually the Arctic Ocean. I have it in my notes. I think it was the Arctic, right? Pretty sure it was the Arctic. Yeah. Last week, U.S.-owned waters in the Arctic and Atlantic, he marked them as off limits. So in other words, no oil, no drilling, no nothing. Marked them as off limits. Water out in the oceans. He's marking them off as no good. NG. Remember, that's our term, NG, right? In addition to that, he marked another area outside Yellowstone Park as being, you cannot do any mining there. So he's doing everything he can on his way out to try to create more hassles for President Trump, who has vowed that he is going to create a United States that is definitely more energy independent. And let me tell you, you know, a lot of times people try to figure out what's the stem, where are all these problems with the Middle East, why does it all connect, why are we so involved, and whatever it may be. Well, to a certain degree, we're there because we're trying to protect, or at least we used to try to protect, our friends in Israel, and because we also want to try to make friendly relationships with other countries in the region. But by and large, you know, look, it's an oil mecca, right? It's oil. So if we were to be more, and most people don't know the amounts of oil that we produce here as a country. If we could tap into that even more and make it the other way, where people really start depending on us more than the Middle East, a lot of this crap goes away. So at least in my opinion anyway, you know? So anyway, that's what Obama is doing. Making a turn here tells me time to change course. So anyhow, just so this way you know, I don't know how successful these attorney generals are going to be in suing him over these monuments, but could very well be that Obama gets his way on the way out the door. Yeah. All right. It's rainy and it's windy and it's cold and I forgot my gloves. Typical DML. But I swore that we would be walking today because I have not walked and talked in a long time. It's been sitting and talking. I don't know. Somebody sent me an email last night that says, DML, you're just not the same when you're sitting and talking. I like it better when you're walking and talking. Sure, because you want me to be walking through through the wind and the rain. Yeah, it's more interesting than just looking at that beautiful blue wall behind me in my house. I get you. I get more energy out here. Who wouldn't? And sit in the chair, be like, all right, today's sit and talk is about this. Yeah, no. We're out walking. People look at me. Yeah. All right. Get myself all revved up for the next topic, because the next topic just pisses me off. The defense ministry in the country of Spain. DML. Good. I didn't even know Spain had a defense ministry. Yeah, I bet you forgot that there was even a country named Spain. Where they've been? Haven't heard anything about from them. And all of a sudden they're popping up. They're like, ISIS. Yeah. They're ringing the bell. Ding, 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 ding. Warning, warning, warning. When Spain is ringing the warning bell about ISIS, you know they ain't the JV team. So anyway, Spain's defense ministry puts out a report saying, hey, world, just want to let you know, ISIS is in Latin America, and they're growing there fast. Yeah. Now why? Why are they picking Latin America? Because Latin America is sort of like, oh, do whatever you want to do. Go right ahead. No checks here. Got a couple of bucks. Yeah, that's how it works. And so ISIS is like, wait a second. Ultimately, we want to get it to the U.S. Ultimately, we want to just destroy everybody in the U.S. How do we get in? Well, they've already been starting to camp out in Canada, and we know that's coming. But now they're starting to infiltrate Latin America. Not only because it's an easy place to set up camp and just start being like, all right, let's practice chopping people's heads off. Nobody will ever know. Because there's also a lot of drugs to sell. Bet you didn't know that the Muslim extremists are in the drug business, did you? Really, Devo? But the cartel had all that going. Yeah. But so too are the Muslim extremists. Yeah. And oh, by the way, guess what? They're working with the drug cartels. No. Oh yeah. They're working with the drug cartels. Sure. Congressional reports stating, yep, that the cartels and the Muslim extremists are working together. In fact, the State Department, cheat sheet, don't want to get anything wrong about Loretta Lynch. Lord knows, before you know it, I'll be locked up. Yeah. She'll be like, hey, Mr. Dennis Michael Lynch, I want to meet you on the tarmac, just like I did Bill Clinton. I'll be like, all right, what's up? Before you know it, she'll be like, I'll be against a tree like this, arrested. She'll be like, you're arrested. For what? Putting out false information, fake news. Oh, jeez. All right. Anyway, sorry. So yeah, she said something. What did she say? DML, did you forget to write it down? Come on. DML forgot to write it down. Well, they put out a warning anyway. And the warning basically was that the cartels are working with ISIS. Now, back in my day, when I was, jumping over border fences, big fences like this. Yeah, this is our border. You want to, right now, you think I'm in New York, but I'm really not. It's the equivalent of being in Arizona along the border fence, where you just kind of go like this. Oh, I'm in Mexico today. And now I'm in the U.S. Way to go. Yeah, this is it. That's it. Yep. In fact, this might be a little bit of a bigger, more difficult fence. I actually had to strain not to hit myself in the, Anyway, yeah, and this is perfect. I couldn't give you a better visual. Here's Arizona. You ready? All right, so let's see. DML, get the foot. All right, border fence, border fence, border fence, border fence, border fence, border fence. No more border fence. It just stops. Why didn't we finish building the border fence? Why not? Because that was so effective. That fence right there wasn't stopping anything, and now we just did this. Yeah. This is, if you were Steven Spielberg, note to Steve, who lives out here in liberal land, USA. If Steven Spielberg was like, hey man, let's sit down with Harvey Weinstein. Hey Harvey, Hey, what's going on, man? Harvey, you look like you lost a little weight. It's all mirage. All right, Steve, so what's going on? I want to make a movie about Arizona and about how the border fence isn't created. Oh, boy. It costs us too much money to go all the way to Arizona to really show that. Steven says, don't worry about it, Harvey. No need. I'm going to take you over to the duck pond. We've got a perfect replica of what it looks like. That's it. Right there. That's the border fence. Yep. So anyway, back when yours truly was jumping over fences and doing all that other stuff, and They Come to America 1, 2, 3 movies that you saw, and I get all the rave reviews from you. What I learned from the Border Patrol guys and all the different guys who were informing me and giving me information was that up to $50,000 is paid for safe passage into the U.S. What do you mean, DML? Well, a Muslim extremist who knows that the cartels... Oh, this is so interesting stuff. I don't think I covered all this in my movies, so it's new. The cartels... let me go back. Let me give it all to you. And then at the bells, I'll stop. I interviewed the Attorney General, or the former Attorney General for Arizona. I think it was in They Come to America 1, 2, one or the other, maybe 2. And it was an hour interview. I only used a couple of minutes in the film because I ran out of time. I'm going to play this interview on our website as soon as our new studio is loaded up. The stuff this guy informed me of, incredible. And what he said was that the cartels actually watch us more than we watch them. And that all throughout Arizona, all throughout Texas, but basically through Arizona, what he was talking about is that the cartels have people who are strategically placed. And these people are placed high ground, low ground, underground, in homes, you name it, all throughout Arizona. So the whole gateway, if you will, to Phoenix from Arizona. Phoenix acts as the center of it all. Goes to Phoenix, shoots off to LA, shoots off to New York, shoots out through the United States. The cartels have created these unbelievable pathways to where they know at certain times of the day there'll be nobody here, nobody there, nobody here, nobody there. That's why we just don't stop it. They're always watching us. And when one of their pathways is interrupted, they go somewhere else, they create a new pathway. It is, virtually, because we just can't find our buttocks with both hands, it is virtually impossible for us to stop these guys. Think about it. Drugs pour into this country every single day by the busloads, and yet we only hear maybe once a month about how it is that we seized a couple of $1 million worth of whatever. So anyway, the Muslim extremists who go through great lengths to get here don't want to take the risk of not knowing if they're going to wind up getting caught or wind up knowing if they're going to get to the right place. And they have a very big, huge strategy in place on how it is that they're going to get through and where they're going. The cartels charge $50 per head in some cases. Yes. So think about that. The amount of, there's as much money in human trafficking as there is in drug trafficking. And there's even far more money in Islamic terrorist trafficking than there is in all of it, okay? You know how much work there is to get through $250,000 worth of drugs? Meanwhile, all you gotta do is get in 5 terrorists, you got the same amount of money. So anyhow, this report is not stunning to the extent of we didn't know this already, but I think, every time there's always a headline. I ask my writers this all the time. What's the headline of the story? The headline of this story is that Spain is now starting to issue warnings about how it is that ISIS is infiltrating Latin America and Mexico and spreading its wings. Meanwhile, our president, who's about to leave, believes that they're the JV team and tells the world by and large, don't worry, they are definitely being crushed. And it's a complete false narrative. So that's that. And as you know, I remember going back, there's this show called The Young Turks. I don't know if you ever heard of it or not. It's very popular with liberals. It's one of the only popular liberal shows you could possibly even find on the web. Guy gets a lot of play, puts up a video, he'll easily get 250,000. I mean, he could say, Charlie Sheen smiled today, and he'll get 250,000 people watching it, because these lame liberals have nobody else or nothing better to watch. You think maybe they'd watch some of our stuff and learn something. Well, anyway, I was once on Fox News. Brian Kilmeade was interviewing me, and it was about ISIS coming through the border. And I said, Brian, they're already here, man. Now, this is going back, 2 years ago. They're already here, man. They're already here. I've worked with the Border Patrol, and I have caught people from the Middle East coming in. I've seen it with my own 2 eyes. This guy from Young Turks, I can't even say his name, he ripped me a new ass, telling me I was a fearmonger, that I didn't know what I was talking about. Yeah, okay, they're here. And meanwhile, now you got the State Department and everybody else saying, oh yeah, by the way, they're here. Yeah, there you go with that. All right, moving on. We go into the opinion piece. I have so many opinions, I don't know which one I should tell you about. So let me get out the cheat sheet, because I really want to tell you about Ivanka Trump. But I think I'm going to go with one that's a little bit more in depth. Maybe I'll go both. Maybe I'll go both. I have no idea what just happened. No idea. Just turned me off out of nowhere. Turned me off out of nowhere. Just literally went black. No idea. Don't ask me. DML, what happened? I lost you all of a sudden. It was there, and all of a sudden it was black. You were going to do an opinion about Ivanka Trump. Boom! Boom! I don't know what happened. You got battery? Yeah, I got 55% still left on the phone. Plus, I'm plugged in to my pack. What do you mean? DML, I don't understand what happened. Me neither. Do me a favor, will you? If you're not one of those people who email me, because I'm seeing right now, I got 2.2 thousand people in here. I do not get 2,200 emails. Would you do me a favor? Would you send me an email at wetrustdml@gmail.com and just tell me in the email whether or not you ever get this sort of thing from Facebook with anybody else? Do you just get turned off out of nowhere? Does it just happen like that? Because I don't want to... Here's the bells. Hold on. Thank you very much for the recovery of being kicked off, and for these people to be coming back after the interruption was made. Thank you very much. What else do I say? Does Facebook do it to me only? Does it do it to everybody? I'm not even talking about the spinning. I mean, just tell me if it happens to you. If it does happen to you, do me a favor. Tell me who else it happens to when you're watching. So if you're watching Sean Hannity, I don't even know if he does anything like this, and it happens, tell me. You know, if it happens to you with somebody else, tell me. So this way I could go check out their videos, or I could watch their videos live and see whether or not I experience the same sort of thing that you're experiencing with me, because this is very disturbing. We're actually doing a test on the app today. I told you in the beginning, you know? So we're seeing if this stuff works. Why the hell I would just be shut out of nowhere makes no sense to me. Anyway, WeTrustDML@gmail.com. All right, thanks. So I was telling you, in fact, Miss Mary is coming to pick me up because I thought I was permanently knocked off from you. So we'll drive around the car. Plus it's cold and it's raining. But anyway, there is two things. There's a petition now launched by a group called Right Wing Millennials. And they are calling for the professor at I think it's Hunter College, who was involved in spreading the hate against Ivanka Trump after she was abused by the professor's boyfriend on the airplane. There's a petition to have him removed from that college. And I love this petition. It has been 30,000 signatures in 5 days. I ask you, go to DennisMichaelLynch.com. It'll probably be on the homepage. If not, it'll be a couple of stories down, maybe on the second page. Go take a look at the petition. And if you're into signing petitions, sign it. All right? Because let me tell you this. I would guarantee, as much as those bells are ringing right now, and will ring every day at 12 o'clock, that had a professor stopped Hillary Clinton from some group, or just stopped her in general and said the sort of things to her, or to Chelsea, better off, as they did to Ivanka, the press would be calling for their heads. Nothing with this guy. Nothing at all. In fact, they blamed Ivanka for flying on a commercial airplane. You know, it's amazing. You can't win either way. If she flies on a private jet, it's like, oh, what, you're too good to fly on JetBlue? Richie Rich? Remember that? I told you that story about how Elle magazine said, oh, she's too successful to be a role model, right? And then on the other end, she's like, hey, why don't we just fly commercial? Because we want to really just be a normal family. You know, I got kids like everybody else. I bleed like everybody else. You know, I hope the plane lands like everybody else. But instead, she's going to get abused by some guy who's never even met her. Her father hasn't even gotten into the office yet. Going to be abused. And what the press does is they blame Ivanka. You know, go sign the petition if you can. All right? You'll find on DML. All right? Because my opinion is this guy needs to go. All right. Then my other opinion. We posted another story this morning about the New York Police Department. A lot of people who don't understand the difference between some of the religions believe this is a story about Muslims. It's not. It's a story about Sikhs. Sikha. Some people say Sikha, some people say Sikh. The Sikhs wear turbans. By and large, Indian men. They wear turbans. They grow their beards. It's part of their religion. Well, we have over 100 of these gentlemen in the New York Police Department. And they have been wearing their turban underneath the issued NYPD cap. And they have been told that they have to keep their beards no more than like a millimeter. I mean, almost like a 2-day scrub, you know? But here's Mama Lynch. Get to say hello to her. She's gonna be like, don't put me on. I haven't even showered. We'll go over. Hold on. You know I'm gonna throw this thing in her face, right? Here we go. Here we go. Dude, they kicked me off out of nowhere. Say hello. She's cold. It's cold. It's cold and nasty. She told me to do a sit and talk. I didn't listen. All right. Man, oh, you have me on? Was it working?
Yeah.
It was working? Dennis said that he had no sound.
No, he had it on.
He had it on mute?
Yeah.
Oh, boy. You sure that's my kid? All right. Sounds good. Look, Mama's watching Daddy on the phone. So it's working. Yeah. The app is working. Yes. Way to go, Mark at home. Way to go. Mark knows I drive a tough bargain. Man, go up here and make a right. and we'll just hang out over by the baseball field where the cellular is good. I'll only be about another 2 minutes. I'll go short today. Anyway, let's go back to the whole thing. So these guys, you know, they've had the tight scrub a little bit more than what I got today. But now the NYPD has caved, as far as I'm concerned. Now they don't have to wear the issued cap anymore. They could just wear the turban, but it has to be navy blue, because that's the NYPD colors. Navy blue, and it's got to have the New York Police Department insignia on the turban. And they're allowed to grow their beards longer. Now, one of the reasons why they were not allowed to have a beard is because in case they had to wear a gas mask, it could interfere. So now we are changing all of this in the name of religion. And I think this is an absolute tragedy. It's a tragedy because 2 reasons. Has nothing to do with, in my case, their religion. Has nothing to do whether or not I believe in what they believe in or they don't believe in what they believe in. Has nothing to do with that. It has to do with you. A police officer is there to protect. Is that seatbelts warning? Gotta put my seatbelt on, safety first. A police officer's job is not to serve his religion. His job or her job is to serve the people, to protect and serve the people, not to protect and serve his or her religion. Okay? You want to go home and you want to do whatever your religion says. I mean, you want to burn candles on both ends, like out of your ears, because that's what your religion says. You do it all day long. But when it comes to representing the New York City Police Department, you represent it in the uniform that is issued to everybody. This, what they did, as far as I'm concerned, opens up the jar for every single last person who says, my religion says this, and that they get their way. I think it is an absolute disaster that the New York City Police Department caved into this. Almost as bad as the story as I told you weeks ago about the New York Fire Department hiring convicts that just got out of jail for gun charges versus hiring the best person for the job because he or she is white. Yeah, that's my opinion. I want to hear your opinion about what you think on the NYPD thing. Go to Facebook. Don't go send me an email. You send me too many emails, I'll lose the other emails I told you. Go to Facebook. You'll see I posted this story. If you want more details on the story, you'll see it. Go to Facebook down towards this morning. You'll see it says police department. People, I asked for people's opinions. They were throwing them up there. I think they're up there by the hundreds at this point, maybe into the thousands. So voice, I'm going to take a look at this and I'll probably write an op-ed about it because I'm very passionate about this. I think this is the opening of a really dangerous precedent to set. All right? Okay. We got that. Next, we've got the whole... Oh, my cheat sheet is all wet, soaking wet. Let's see. Oh, it's barely holding on. Sort of like me, right, hon? Look how pretty she is. Come on, say something. They've been missing you. You haven't been around.
I got Kelly home.
Oh, come on. What are you covering up for?
So I'm like in my pajamas.
Come on, pajamas.
Loungewear.
Mama Lynch is in her pajamas.
No, loungewear.
Loungewear? Where's loungewear? We got work to do, man. We got work to do.
It's a fancy word for pajamas.
Come on. Come on. She slept late today. Slept late. She did. I was like, man, wake up. My goodness. You know, slept late. Why'd you sleep late?
I was tired.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. What a life, man. I want to come back as Mary Lynch. Let me tell you something. All right, anyway. What do we got here? We did that. Okay. Oh, let me hit these real quick. Man, just do me a favor. Go down to the ball field, just so I can finish this up. I have to finish up. These poor people were with me. They got kicked off. We had to go back. All right. Wow. Comes down to Charlie Sheen. Charlie Sheen, who has had more problems, all right, who has not been able to figure himself out, has gone in more directions than a Rubik's Cube. Hey, like that one. I just came up with that one out of nowhere. More directions and more lost than a Rubik's Cube. Charlie Sheen, right? Who is all over the place, drunk and stoned and making a moron out of himself constantly, day in and day out. All of America watching this guy just melt into the abyss. But what do the American people do? Do we just turn around and throw him off the cliff? No. People hoped and wished that he'd get his act together. And then when he did get his act together, people still thought he was pretty much a bonehead. But I was like, hey, look, good for you, Charlie. You got yourself back together. Well, the guy puts out a tweet. Of all the deaths that we've had lately, of all the stars, right? You've got Debbie Reynolds dies last night, a day after her daughter Carrie Fisher dies. Last week or the week before, we had George Michael on Christmas Day. Before that, we had Alan Thicke, right? So what does Charlie Sheen do? He puts out a text that says, "Dear God, Trump next." Why is that going off? Field warning. Trump next, please. And then he repeats it. Trump next, please. Trump next, please. Trump next, please. One after the next. I think he did it about 7 times, asking basically for God to take Trump's life. Right? To me, that's a complete wow. Again, can you imagine for a moment if a conservative actor, who do we have that's a conservative actor? Can you imagine if Scott Baio was to turn around and put out a tweet that said, "Please God, next, take Hillary," or next, take Obama? Forget it. It would be the lead story in every single newspaper, on every single news outlet. It would be the lead story. Scott Baio would be basically hung upside down from his Fonzie feet. Remember Fonzie? Yeah, you remember Fonzie?
Mm-hmm.
Did you watch Fonzie?
Finish up then. It's raining.
It's raining. Man, give the crowd a hey. Come on. She's so shy. All right, we got that. Then I'll tell you what, I'm going to save, because it's such a good story. I'm going to shave my story for tomorrow. Today was just another one of those days where you're just like, what is going on with the walk and talk? And it's always driven by this horrible weather that we have here in New York. It has been rainy every single day. My phone, it's pouring now. My phone is breaking left and right. I'm going to get a new phone. There's no doubt I'm going to get a new phone. And Facebook cutting me off. I got a lot of problems, but the app is working. Oh, yeah. So pretty much soon, hopefully, this stuff all goes away. Yeah. So I have a great story. I'm going to do it tomorrow. And after I say this, Mary's going to say to me, why are you going to tell that story? I have a great story about the first time that I had ever seen 2 men kiss, because it goes off yesterday's conversation we had about the transgenders. I told you, everybody came out, 95% agreed with me about the whole bathroom rule, and I had other people say that they disagreed with me, and I had one lady who says she is a lesbian rip me a new buttocks. So I want to respond to her, and I want to tell her this story. So that will be tomorrow, all right? So until then, lots of stories going up on the website today. Lots of stories. Don't forget to sign up for the text alerts. I'm so nervous about this Facebook thing. 40404, and it's follow space at Real Dennis Lynch, space between the follow and the at. And then I think my daughter's launching another little Instagram thing pretty soon. I don't know what she's putting up, but I'm sure it will be somewhat different. So that's that. That's Instagram.com/DML is my dad. And that's that. And as far as anybody who's still missing their DVDs because the post office just sort of redirected them, they were supposed to go to Arkansas and then they went to Alaska, or they were supposed to go to Texas and they wound up going to Tennessee. What'd you say?
They're traveling the U.S.
They're traveling. Yeah, maybe. Wait, hold on. Tell them what's happening. Tell them.
They're circulating around the U.S. I don't know why.
It's your fault.
It's not.
It's your fault.
It's the post office.
No, it's your fault. Mary is sleeping on your DVDs. That's what it is. All right, we will be with you tomorrow, okay? We'll see you later. God bless you. God bless our troops. God bless the United States of America. And God bless our police officers.